sometimes you feel, well, gee, did I change so much? But at least you can, I don't have to put my name under that to recognize that it was me. I don't wish that I was 60 or 40 or 50 or anything. I like being 85, and I look forward to getting older. Not dead, but I'm looking forward to getting older and still being able to do things. It's hard when you can't walk and you can't see as well or something like that. But then there's compensations for it. So you got a cane, you got glasses, you see. And I don't think of it as, gee, that's too bad that I can't do this or I can't do that. I'll do what I can do. There's your secret. Do what you can do. Those things you can't do, forget about it. For me, I would love to have the comfort of having an older man my age, you know, to walk down the street with and still hold hands and still feel it. When I see that from our building, some old couples going out in hand and feeling, so it makes you feel good. You know, that's the way it should be.
When I was around 13, I started to do poetry because I would feel words, hear words in my mind, and I would put them on paper. When I was 60, I took flying lessons. I suppose the next thing I would like to do is take a parachute jump. I love it. I would never dye my hair. I would never tint away my gray because I think it's, I've earned that. I've earned that gray.
I send over 300 birthday cards a year. I don't take people off my list until they die, even if I don't like them anymore. When you think of how we see older women portrayed on television or even in magazines, they're stooped, they're fragile, they look worn out. Well, I realize that as we age and our health deteriorates, that we may look like that, but I don't think all senior citizens look like that. That ad for calcium just about finishes me off, the way that poor little lady is stooped over, worrying about calcium, which she, of course, should have worried about at 25 or 30. I think I'm ready to go to heaven anytime, but I sure hope I can stay around a little while longer. I'd like to see the High Bridge completed, at least. And I'd like to see the Equal Rights Amendment passed. Oh, all kinds of things that you'd still like to do, you know, see happen. Well, you've learned, you know, that you just don't know everything like you thought you did when you were young. And where you were so sure what was good and what was bad, now you know there's a whole great big area in there, that gray area. It isn't black and white anymore. It's a big gray area, and you can be comfortable with more people because you're not judgmental anymore. Now you've learned that. It's too bad it takes that long, but it does.
These buttons in this box are very dear to me. These represent things, causes, and people that I believe in. Those wrinkles are the map of my life. It shows my long line of laughter, tears, sorrow, work, things that I could compete with, couldn't, you know. So I burned them, and I'm proud of them. They battle scars. I was just in 7th heaven because it was just about time for me to be retired. And I was going to be free, you know. And I was just thrilled because I was going to ride the bus, have my Social Security card, could go anywhere for 10 cents. And the places I was going to get up in the morning and possibly ride all day and all night too. But when I retired, I had emphysema. I wasn't even able to walk to the bus stop. So you get what you want, but it don't be what you thought it was going to be. The older women, I think they've been through so much, those that are alive. I think they are survivors. heroes of a war on life. They are survivors. So they got something to tell and to put in to help the younger woman out how to survive.
I lived through the Russian Revolution that inspired me this piece later to write. My impression of a Russian lullaby. When I was preparing to be a musician and a concert pianist, I didn't expect to lose a kidney at 22. When I lost the kidney, then I had to make up my mind that I could not have children. And I was already married the first year. And then I decided I'll have more children of my own. I told the doctor, and no diapers to wash. And he said, how? How could you do that? So I showed him the certificate of graduation for teaching piano. And so I had as many kids as I wanted to. Nobody stopped me. I had 60, I had 40 to teach, and all kinds of them, boys and girls. I never missed my own. Really, I didn't. I loved Girl Scout organization for one reason. We were so happy being Girl Scouts that I used to write so many songs for them when I was there. Oh, happy were the pioneers preparing for a hike. As they made the covered wagon, which was very gypsy-like, they started on the road full of fun. With the sign on the wagon to the Pikes Peak or bust, they started out with fun. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so I always compose songs for the Girl Scouts, all kinds of happy songs. Sometimes I take my dog for a long walk, and he's an old dog, and if he can walk with me and come home still on his 4 legs, I get the biggest thrill that he's still walking with me. I hate to think of a day when he's going to be gone.
I believe everything has a spirit because they were created by the Great Spirit, and so the rocks and the stones are part of that. The spirit goes on forever. The society that we live in, we're afraid of growing old, and we're also afraid of dying. So how does that, what happens to us then? Because either we do one or the other. If we can't face that, we just live in a lot of fear. And I met a lady in Albuquerque who was 92. She had retired from 2 jobs, and the last job she retired at 91 because she figured that maybe they would ask her to retire at her age, so she quit. She had dyed her hair. We didn't say anything about it, but she brought it up, and she said, the reason I do this is so that people won't treat me like an old person. So she had dyed hair. So she would, appear younger. And I just thought that was so wonderful. And then the last time I saw her, when we were leaving, and we hugged each other, and I was going to say, I will see you again. And I stopped because I thought, I won't see her again. And I just said, just started to say that, and she said, at another time, in another place. And that's what it is. We'll see each other at another time, another place.
I like gardening. Why? I just don't know, except I feel real close to God when I'm out in the garden. And guess I like getting dirty and playing in the dirt. My mind isn't as sharp as it was. I know it isn't. I say I can't remember names, and I spend an awful lot of time hunting for things, forgetting where I put them. And those things really do kind of bother me. And then when I get in conversation with other people that are many years younger than I am, and they tell me they have the same problem, then I just forget it. I think back in my days, there wasn't much choice but to be a teacher or a nurse or get married. But I said if I had to live today, if I was a young person, I certainly wouldn't marry so soon, and I'd get into the career world. I said, I think I might like to be a tour guide, or I think I might like to be an interviewer. I said, as long as I'm able to keep going and doing, I hope I can live. But if I can't, I'm ready to go. And I'm not going to worry about it. I never give it a moment's thought. And just the other night out here, I was kind of low one night, and So I decided just about dusk, and I went out and started to walk up the lane there. And I sat down on a bench and sat there for a while, and pretty soon here came 1 deer and 2 deer. Pretty soon there were 12 deer out there eating. And I felt so good, I came in just like a lark.